Hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you can hear me okay. So I was talking to someone the other day about goals, right? And about how we have all these big ideas in our head that we're going to do all these great things and we're going to make all this money and we're going to be super successful and we're going to lose weight and we're going to do all this. And then for some reason, we don't get to where we want to get to, right? And for some reason, we just keep falling short on what it is that we wanted. So my question to you is, if you have these goals, where are they being held? Are they in your mind or are they actually written down on a piece of paper? One of the things that we were talking about is the idea that, we have these great ideas, but we're literally afraid to write them down. And I've done this myself. I still make myself write things down because it's so easy to just say, oh, I want to do this, and then not write it down. But when we write it down, first of all, statistically, it's been told that you are 42% more likely to achieve your goal if you write it down. But the reason that we're not writing it down, I think, is the more important part of this message. And that is because when we aren't writing our goals down, it's because we're afraid to admit that that's what we want, because we're afraid we might fail. And when we are afraid we're going to fail, then we don't write it down, right? And when we don't write it down, then if we don't actually get it, then it doesn't matter because we never actually admitted we wanted it to begin with, right? So can you see how we're doing this? Like we're doing this in a circle to ourselves, and we continue to just say, oh, it'd be great to do this. Oh, I want to increase my sales. Oh, I want to connect with more people. I want to do all these things. But when you don't write it down, then when you don't get it, it's okay, because you never really committed to it. But if you really want to go after something and you actually want to have that success, then you've got to write it down. And not only do you need to write it down, but you need to have it somewhere that you look at it every single day and that you remind yourself of why it's so important, and then do something about it. Take an action, take some sort of a step, show up, connect with someone, ask a question, figure out how you can help them. And then that's where you're going to be able to grow from, right? But if we only just sit there and think, oh, I really wish I had $1 million, then you're never going to have $1 million. You're not even going to have $1,000. But if you say, you know what, I want $1,000, and these are 3 different ways that I could make $1,000 in the next month. And it could be, whatever. It could be writing copy for someone. It could be making graphics. It could be helping them get fit, right? There's so many different ways that you can help people and get paid for it. But if you don't figure out what you want and then you don't come up with ways to do it, then you're certainly not going to be able to get there, right? So the whole point of this message is to just show up, right? Show up for yourself, show up for the people that need you, and commit to do something about it. So write it down. So do you have a goal? I'd love to know, if you're watching, what is your goal right now? What do you want to have? What is it? July 21st. So let's just say by the end of August, what do you want to have? What is the number one thing you want? And then write that down. Either put it in the comments or write it down on a piece of paper, but literally I want you to put it somewhere that you can physically see it, on paper, on your computer, on this live, whatever. I don't care. Just write it down. And then you can look at it and say, okay, how can I achieve this? If I want to have 3 new clients by the end of the month, that means that I have to show up and start connecting with probably, 100 people. I don't know, whatever that metric is for you. But if we don't commit to that and we don't show up for it, then it's super easy to get distracted all day. It's super easy to come up with reasons that you want to do something else. It's super easy to, change your colors, which I just did, to do all these other things that are not actually going to be revenue making activities. But when you start with that goal and you write it down and you make the commitment, then you always have that to go back to. And when you start getting distracted, you start procrastinating, then you can go back and say, okay, what was that thing that I'm trying to do? What is the next thing I need to do to get to that point? So that's what I want you to do, but it starts with writing it down. So write it down right now, commit to yourself, honor your commitment to yourself, and don't let that fear stop you, because that's what's happening. Your subconscious is afraid that if you write that thing down, that you might actually do it. And then that means getting out of your comfort zone. And then that means actually changing, right? Growing. And that's not what your subconscious wants to do. It wants to keep you safe. So take the action, do something about it. You can see I have right here, hold on, how do I get to it? I can't even get to it. There it is. Fear is removed by action, people. So take some action today, okay? That's what I want you to do. We'll talk soon, all right? Bye.